Hello everyone. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And I'm going to wait for a few minutes here so people get their notifications, and we'll do a little bit of a roll call and say hello to some folks here as we get started here. And who is number one on the hit parade? Michael from Norland. Good morning. Francis Marie, a close number 2. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, numero 3. Nick from our staff. Rosa, good morning. John, Elgin, Illinois. Laurie, we appreciate you guys, Niagara Falls. Cape Breton, Jen, you made it through the storm while we were praying. Jeanette, good morning from our staff. Mary, Tina, Nova Scotia. How did you guys make out, Tina? Wendy, Markham, good morning. Lori from Ventura, California. Sandy, Chilliwack, BC. I missed somebody there. Australia, good morning. Good morning. Helena, Fran, Orangeville, Jackie, Chile, Tirana. Okay, Frida. Yeah, it's cloudy this morning. Brenda, Campbell, River, British Columbia. Jan, Jordan, Oklahoma, originally from Tennessee. Kevin, good morning. Oshawa, Ann, Moncton, New Brunswick. Brahim, and Oregon. Nova Scotia again. Hold on, I just missed it. I hate to touch my phone because Elaine, Rita, Zian and Jean, Catherine, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. We were praying for everyone out east. Serpa, good morning. Lynn, Werner, good morning. Jocelyn, Baxter, Diane, Thunder Bay. Alicia, North Bay, rainy North Bay. Micheline, Bonnezy. Deanna, LaSalle. Carmen, North Bay, good morning. Terry, Niagara Falls. Karen, Muskoka. Luella, West Tennessee. Kim from Timmins, good morning, Kim. Jean, Calgary. Kathy, typhoon in the Philippines. Wow. And I missed somebody there. Fran, good morning. And Jean, Peterborough, Ray, and Lise. Okay, let's get going. Barbara, nice to have you. And from Newfoundland, Len and Judy, good morning. Edmonton, Shirley, Diane. Okay, now here's the headline. I sort of made this up. Okay, I didn't make up the studies. We're going to look at 3 studies this morning, and I'm going to put them all in one package. Has to do with memories. I could sing, but I can't. Now, lost memories are not lost forever. That's the headline. Lost memories are not lost forever. There's some good news when it comes to your memory. Good news. 3 studies are very, very interesting when it comes to regeneration of the hippocampus. Now, guys, you know this. If I had you close your books and give me the answer, 2 centers in the brain that we're really, really interested in on this program. One of them is the memory center called your hippocampus. That one's easy because all you have to remember is the word campus, school, university, college, right? Campus, hippocampus, and the other one is hypothalamus, okay? You get those 2 right, your brain, well, you know your memory is good, but your brain works primarily by those 2 centers in your brain. One of them is all hormones for a lot of people, and the other one is memory. And 3 new studies out on restoring or protecting your memory. And who doesn't want that? When you get my age, that is a huge factor. It's a huge factor. So we've often talked about it. Here's 3 new studies. Let me put them together. 1, from the journal Nutrients. Okay? Recent study. The more DHA you have in your blood, you have 50% less likelihood to get Alzheimer's. Okay, let me repeat. The more DHA, healthy fat, you have in your brain, it has a very specific center that it loves to protect, and that is your hippocampus, your memory center. Isn't that good news? Why do you think at the Martin Clinic I double down every time I get a chance on DHA? I've been saying it for, you guys know me, I've never wavered on the importance of DHA. Now look, all omega-3 is good. All omega-3 is good. Omega-3 fatty acids are good. But the best is the long chain fatty acid called DHA. The longer the chain, the better it is for your brain. Now, DHA does a lot of things. It's good for your heart. It's good for your eyeballs. It's good for your joint. It's good for your gut. Think of lubrication. Think of oil changing. Your body needs an oil change. And the higher the amount that they find of DHA in the blood, according to the journal Nutrients, the better it is for your memory center, 50%. Now, there's no drug on the market. Now, remember, we brought this to you in the past. Medicine is looking for love in all the wrong places. What came out in August? That they literally, the big pharmaceutical companies, fudged the books. They fudged the books on Alzheimer's. They went down a path years and years ago on a fudged theory that it was all amyloid plaque. And they were trying to find drugs, and they would get them past the FDA by fudging. They never worked. They were looking for love in all the wrong places. When you start off with a bad theory, your chances of success are not good. And it's exactly what happened. We reported that to you. There was 3 things that came out in August. And I really haven't gotten over it. In mental health. One was the one I just talked to you about. The whole fudged theory of Alzheimer's. Scientists working for Big Pharma made up a theory, and it was never true. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Nobody's going to lose their job, and no one is going to pay for that bad science. Nobody's going to pay for it. I've talked to you in the past about Vioxx. I watched it. It killed 50,000 people. 50,000 people died of a heart attack taking the drug Vioxx. Well documented. Google it if you don't believe me. And no one went to jail. They knew it. They knew it was dangerous, and they didn't do anything about it. They put money away. By the way, they put money away to settle claims. They were making so much profit, they put 10% away to settle claims. Imagine that. Imagine getting away with that. I still get angry when I think about it. So in mental health, they brought us down a wrong path. Well, listen, I never believed that anyway. I never did. Because there was a reason that they called Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. And that, my friend, is the key. It's the key. It's insulin. And all this fat-free nonsense, all this, oh, it's saturated fat. You can't eat that. That's no good for you. It's exactly what you need for your brain. And you guys heard it here first. If someone calls you fathead, take it as a compliment. True or false? Yeah, it's true, because I've been telling you that for as long as you have known me. Now, the second thing that came out in August was on bipolar. They got all that wrong too. And they're finally admitting that there's a huge nutritional component. Again, what are we talking about? Insulin, sugarholics, carboholics, has a big effect on the brain. And the third one on depression, all out in August of 2022. And depression is not a serotonin problem. I mean, it even, hit the national newspapers in Canada. Now, nothing's going to happen, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to change the psychiatrists and doctors' prescriptions at all. They're so ingrained. You're depressed, you're going on an antidepressant, an SSRI. From Zoloft to Prozac to whatever. They're going to put you on that. They can't help themselves. And now we know 100% that it's not serotonin. It's not a lack of serotonin. And when they were giving these SSRIs, serotonin receptors, to uptake the serotonin, they don't work. Why? Because they're looking for love in all the wrong places. It wasn't true. It was a Band-Aid at the best. Now, guys, I know I'm pretty adamant, but listen, I didn't say that. Those are not my studies. They're not my studies. But they make me angry. They do, because so many people, if you went door to door, anybody that would know anything say, well, what, here's a depressed person. What's the cause? Oh, they have a chemical imbalance. Well, it ain't that neurotransmitter serotonin. Now, here's me. Here's me. I've always said this to you, and I just will repeat it. It's a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm. The biggest factor in there is not serotonin. The biggest factor in there is cortisol, the stress hormone. Because if you look in the background, there's always trauma, emotional, physical. There's trauma, relationships, and there's cortisol. Okay? Anywho, back to the DHA. That healthy fat. DHA, by the way, just as a reminder, is only found in the animal kingdom. It's only found in the animal kingdom. DHA is not in plants. It's not. And there's good things in plants. There's good things in seeds. There is. Okay? But it's not DHA. And the highest source of DHA, by the way, I know you're thinking fish. I'm thinking steak. Vitamin S. Yeah. Another reason, right? But you see, what they did is they actually measured it, because you can measure. You can measure how much DHA you have. You'll never get the test done, but they can do it. Labs can do it. They can measure DHA. They can measure EPA in your bloodstream. How much of it is in there? And when it's high, 50%, as they followed 1,400 dementia patients. Okay? They looked at 1,400 dementia patients. And then they looked at another group without dementia, and they analyzed their blood work looking for DHA. Isn't that incredible, guys? I don't know. Do you think it's going to hit mainstream media? Good luck with that. And this is why you're listening. You're watching. Because we get the news behind the news. And that some of the stuff that you won't see. Okay. Now, another study, okay? This was done at, this is one was in the, out of UCLA, another study out of UCLA. Listen to this. They took dementia patients, gave them high DHA and high vitamin D. They combined the two, and they were able to reverse in 90%. They were able to reverse the effects of Alzheimer's in 90%. This is incredible, guys. By giving high doses of DHA and vitamin D combined. Your brain is a solar panel too, you know. Everything in your body is a solar panel. The more and more they study vitamin D, the more and more they realize, holy moly, I mean, what a vitamin. It should win the Nobel Prize. It would have won the Nobel Prize in medicine even through the virus, if truth be told. But there's no money in vitamin D. There's no money from the sun. And there's a little bit of money, not much, in vitamin D supplements. But listen to this, folks. If you don't think that's important in restoring your memory, in protecting your brain, combine DHA with vitamin D. Holy schmoly. It lowers here's what the study said. One thing they were able to measure. It lowered the inflammation in the hippocampus. Vitamin D, DHA, what a combination. Well, we brought to you, and you can go back to one of my podcasts, been a while. We talked about, and I'm going to bring this one out because it is a great combination, the trinity of high DHA, vitamin D, and vitamin E. Exercise in cancer. Remember that one? High DHA, what does it do? It sends missiles to tumors. It sends a missile to them. DHA. Vitamin D. Your Navy SEALs come out. Your immune system is activated by vitamin D. So when they combine DHA, vitamin D, on cancer, it was incredible, including vitamin E. Those three things. The trinity. To combat cancer. I add a couple of more. You know me. I love talking about probiotics. You better fix that too. Anywho, let me bring you the other study. Okay? 80,000 people followed. This is reported in the Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA. 80,000 people over 7 years were watched. And this is interesting on vitamin E. Because they said this. They said this. One of the ways to protect your memory, according to the Journal of American Medical Association, after studying 80,000 people over 70 years, watching them, taking their blood work and things like that, the amount of movement to protect your memory. You know, just move. You know me and vitamin E. Now, the best movement is you getting strong. Get strong. But this study is saying walking, moving will protect your memory. And they had the sweet spot as far as steps. You know what it was? According to the Journal of American Medical Association, 10,000 steps a day. Now listen, I love walking. I love exercise, I do. It's part of my DNA. One of the reasons we put people on the reset is to get it in their DNA. What do I mean by that? It becomes a habit. You eat. It becomes a habit. When you understand, you can make it a habit after 21 days. Now you got to reinforce it. You have to reinforce it. But my friend, you and I need to move. And I'm writing a book right now. You know that. Sun, Steak, and Steel. And Sleep. The pillars of health. Okay? I'm getting there. Almost done. My end of it. Okay? I'm really excited about it. I get excited. Does that surprise you? No, but I talk, and, of course, I got all the studies, and I talk about vitamin E, steel. But walking is good too. It's wonderful. I love that. Move. Move. It protects your memories. It protects your memories. And this was a big factor in memories. Let me give you a part of what they looked at here. They looked at sitting as being a big factor in dementia. Prolonged sitting. And what they did is they studied the transit drivers compared to guards or conductors. I guess conductors walk and move, transit drivers sit. And they showed between these the difference in their memories, the difference in their hippocampus. And it was significant. Again, meaning move. Now, in my office, I sat most of the day. Why? I was in an office, seeing patients. And I knew sitting isn't great, but, what are you going to do? Stand over a patient? I was intimidating enough. Patients, the odd one used to tell me, Doc, you're in my space. Because I'd like to get up close to people. I'm a people person. I get up, I'm a hugger. Okay? I'm sorry. Hugging became illegal in the last couple of years. Ooh. I don't care. If you want to meet me, you're going to get a hug. I'm sorry. No, but I wasn't going to stand over them. I sat. Okay, most of the day, but I had to make up for that. So I'm a walker, and I'm big on getting strong. Be strong. We've talked about legs, strong brain, strong muscles. And I always used to tell my patients, quit being a cardio bunny. You can do some cardio if you want, but get strong. Okay? Get strong. Okay. So isn't that interesting? And by the way, just coming back to the first study, the amount of vitamin D, okay, where they were reversing Alzheimer's in the UCLA study, they weren't using that much vitamin D and DHA. It was lots compared to what the world out there thinks. They're scared skinny of vitamin D. But, they were only using a few thousand IUs. Personally, I take a lot more than that. And when you get out in the sun for 20 minutes, you get 10,000 IUs. How can that be bad for you? At 10,000 in 20 minutes. I always tell people that. I say, well, That's science, my friend. At 10,000 units, you ain't croaking. You ain't getting toxic. But I can't tell you, as an individual, what to take. I can tell you what I take. Okay. Guys, did you have fun today? Important, isn't it? Think of it for the memory. Think of that. Because Alzheimer's is coming to a theater near you. I mean, it is an absolute epidemic today. It's a tragedy beyond tragedy. The amount of Alzheimer's there is. The number one killer in the UK, and it's number 3 in Canada and the USA behind heart disease and cancer. But they're all related. They're related. Anyway. Okay, guys. You have a loved one in a senior home. You know what I always told you? Bring them B12 and vitamin D and maybe add some DHA. Okay. Maybe add some DHA. Okay, guys. We got a great week coming up. Now, little advertising. If you're not a member of our private Facebook group, join in. Join in. Excellent. What a group. What a private group. We love you guys in there. Unreal. Lots of feedback and lots of good comments and lots of back and forth with people asking good questions. And you can ask your questions for Question and Answer Friday. Ask your questions. We appreciate that. Folks, get people to listen to the Doctors In podcast. You've made it famous. Thank you. You have. Okay. Have I told you lately that I love you? I haven't? Well, I do. Talk to you soon.